So on the last episode of Kory's Rides, you saw me screw up all the threads on here trying to press this out of the lower triple clamps. So what I'm going to do today is take this metric thread file and fix these. You can get these thread files in any size. I think I've got, I got my standard one here. 20, 11, 16 teeth per inch, whatever. So make sure you get the right one. And now I'm going to go ahead. They come lots of different sizes. And then you just line up the threads with all the little grooves in your file. It cleans them right up. Clean all that old grease and crap out of there too if you want, but I'm just going to focus on that damage I caused. Start on good threads and then roll into the bad ones, because the good threads will help you stay lined up. Another tip for you, if you don't want to spring for a thread file, because they are kind of expensive, you can get these triangular ones. And you just line them up one thread at a time. And this also actually, I'll do this on some of the really bad ones to kind of straighten them out a little bit better before I take that thread file in. And I'll use the thread file as kind of like a final straightening device. And really, if I had the right die for this, I'd run a thread die over it too, but I don't have a thread die, so I'll go ahead and hit that again. Handy dandy thread file. I'm not sure I can save this, but I'm gonna try. Now what I'm gonna do is clean it off, try and get all the grease and dirt and everything off before you do this next step. Now again, if I had the correct die, I would use the correct die. I do not. Your average garage mechanic is not going to have the correct die. I am not proud of doing this, but this is what you can do to get the job done. So I put some Tap Magic cutting fluid in here, and you want to use plenty of cutting fluid. 3-in-1 oil cutting fluid. Whatever you got to lubricate it. Oh man. So we're going to start this on there. It gets on pretty far. You should be able to turn this by hand. If you can't turn this on by hand, you need to back it off and refile. Now the reason I'm backing it off right now is to add more Tap Magic. Now you should have it close enough with your thread files or your triangular file, whatever, that you should be able to run this on by hand. It gets tight, you can kind of power through it. Now the reason I'm not proud of doing this, but I'm showing you anyway, is you use what you've got around to get stuff done. Now what I'm doing is using this as a cutting die. That is not the appropriate tool. I'm going to have to go back in here a little bit. See where I'm catching. Right there, I believe I'm catching. It's more of a tool to gauge if you've filed enough. And it also helps straighten out the tiny little bits that you might miss with a file. Or if you get in there real crooked, because I'm not paying super close attention to how I'm filing, because I'm trying to talk and explain it at the same time. But then every time you file it, you're going to want to hit it with some cleaner. Solvent tank or brake clean, whatever you got. It just keeps it clean. Clean this nut out every once in a while. Okay, so we'll add a little bit more to that. Put some goo on here. Might get a little tough here and there. Cross threading, it's a hatchet man's Loctite, right? So I'm hitting something hard there. So if you really want to just decide you've pretty much destroyed the part, and if you think you're going to have to get a new part on eBay or out of the scrapyard anyway, go ahead and clamp her in the vise and get some extra torque on it. At this point, I'm not out anything by just going for it. Because if I can't straighten these threads out, I got to get a new one anyway. So I got it to turn a little bit more, and that's just, I'm still doing this all by hand. I'm still not using any tools. I'm still doing this all by hand. If you actually have the wrench for that, that'd be good too. But wrenches apply lots and lots of force, and then things can go south very quickly. Okay, so I see the spot I'm hanging up on right here. Go ahead and file that a little more. Then I'll clean it. Wipe it with a slightly less dirty area of my rag. Fresh tapping fluid on it. If you don't use any kind of lubricant, you're just going to hard seize this thing together, even by hand, and that is not good. So again, just threading this together by hand. You want to do this the right way, go out and buy a thread tap. You just got to be patient. Work with your files to get it done. Okay, now that's actually way farther than this ever went in its life before. So, and again, this is all by hand. I am not using tools to do this. I got it all the way bottomed out. Go ahead and back it out. And like I said, this is not a professional way to do it. It's not even the right way to do it, but it's a way to do it, and I got it done. So now that that bottom's all the way out, you'll see I still have some issues with thread engagement. It's not going to be perfect. It's pretty good. So I've got, actually that's even really good. I've only got this one spot where it's actually bad. I can tell where it happened, but that's the only bad spot where there's not a ton of thread engagement. All the rest of it, you know, I can tell there's a light bump there, but I've got plenty of thread left. So just that one spot where I actually destroyed it. But I straightened out the threads enough that this will work. So I saved this part. You're going to want to clean out both of these really well before you reassemble it. So look at it really close. You got a magnifying glass, look at it. Like right there, got a little metal chip, and it's sticking down in the threads. So little metal chips like that will ruin it. They'll seize these two together. You never get them apart again. So clean it really well. And again, just if you got the money and you want to do it the correct way, go get a thread tap. Or sorry, thread die. Taps go in holes, dies go over shafts. Go get a tap. Die. Damn it! Go get a thread die if you want to do it the right way. Can you tell it's very late at night? My mind is starting to slip. Okay, so I saved it. Not proud of doing it this way, but I'm proud that I got it done, and it'll work. There we go.